Do you ever feel that you are so stressed that you don't think you can take any more? It's been building for weeks, maybe months, one thing after another, people pulling on your time they need from you. You've got to rush, you've got deadlines, you've got children, maybe adult parents, elderly parents drawing on your time, bosses on top of you, customers, clients, not sleeping, eating poorly, not exercising, no longer seeing your mates because you're just too exhausted. If that is you, and it may well be you, and that's why you're watching this now, then I feel your pain. I genuinely feel your pain, because that was me back in on the 1st of December 2010. That's exactly where I was and had been for a long time, until my body decided that it could take no more and that I had to rest. And it enforced a rest by basically making me seriously ill. I collapsed, critically ill, and long story short, found myself transferred to a London specialist haematology hospital for weeks, where I was not expected to survive, in intensive care, fighting for my life. And as you can see, luckily for me, I did survive, but I learned a lot of lessons. And as a result, I have become incredibly passionate about stress management and looking after myself, and using all the tools that I drew on in hospital to, alongside the medical treatment that I was receiving, I tried to coach myself into better health. And I took away lots and lots of life lessons from that whole illness, that you can't keep going at that rate. A body can't keep going at that rate, and something will happen to stop us, whether it's we get our much feared redundancy, or our business suffers, or our relationship or marriage suffers, or worse, our health suffers. Because when you keep going at that rate, it's not healthy. It's not possible to maintain that long term, over and over and over again, for too long without there being a consequence. It is those consequences that I'm passionate about. That's why I've put together this stress management program, so that it can go out much wider than local clients around here, or workshops or organizations that I am booked to talk to or work for. So this is an online stress management program. I wanted to do this quick overview so that you get to know what it is, and who I am, and why I'm doing it, and how I do it. So I'm Dawn. You don't get to see me again after this. On the modules, there are slides and workshops where I narrate. So you hear my voice, and this is very much my style. Chatty. I give stories. I tell stories of my own, but mostly of clients, all anonymous case studies of what's worked or what hasn't worked, and why, and what this and that, etc. So I make it very much come alive. It's 7 modules. Let me just quickly talk you through each module. The first one is all about the physiology of stress. What causes stress, what causes our symptoms, what symptoms you have, what your triggers are. This course is very tailored to your own needs, because I don't know what your stresses and your pulls and your challenges are. So I set tasks throughout each module where I suggest you pause the film and carry out an activity or an exercise that I set, and that you then replay the film when you're done, and we draw on what you've discovered. So it's very tailored to you. I suggest too that you leave gaps in between each module, so you can go at your own pace totally. This doesn't have to be another thing on your to-do list. You do it when you've got the chance, and at your pace. But I suggest that you leave a good week to 2 weeks in between each module, so that you can fully practice everything that you've learned in one module. Try it out, try out the tips, the techniques, the things that you've learned, the lessons that you've taken, apply them to your everyday life, see what works for you, and then you can do more of them. See what's not so helpful, and then maybe you adapt them or ditch them. So it is very user-friendly, it's very practical, it's very tailored to you. It is not an intellectual style course that's designed to give you CPD points and a certificate as something you can add on your CV. It's not for that. It's a very practical workshop that is designed to make significant, lasting changes every day for your future, for your health, for your work-life balance, for your sanity, for your mental health. That's what this is for. Module 2 goes on to talk about how to start managing that stress. This is full of tips and techniques of stress management techniques, should I say, on how to reduce your stress, manage your health much better and your mental health, and get better sleep. Because if you sleep better, you can cope with more the next day. Excuse me. Whereas module 3 is all about time management. It's all about getting you organized so that you can cope with everything so much more efficiently, with better output, better focus, less procrastination, etc., etc. This in itself is the longest module. It's over 2 hours, and it's basically a standalone time management workshop in itself. It is one that I have adapted, but one that I run for organizations, companies, small workshops, and so on. So you get the whole of that in this package by itself. And well worth it. It will help your efficiency and all of your output and your sanity, but most importantly will help your stress by feeling on top of things, by feeling organized, by feeling in control. That instantly helps our stress. Module 4 is about goal setting and the importance of goal setting and how profoundly helpful it will be for you and your stress reduction. It also moves on to the importance of me time, and I spend some time talking about why that is key, why that goes, it's the first thing to go out the window when we're under pressure and under stress, but ironically it's the first thing we need to increase, although I do understand that that's difficult, and we talk about that. So that's module 4, where module 5 looks at your inner resilience and how to build further resilience so that you've got even more in the future, no matter what life presents, because it has a way of coming left field at you when you least expect it. There's yet more on your plate, more issues and problems to face and challenges to cope with. So this prepares you. It's another thing in your toolkit. We increase what you've already got there, and we introduce new or build new inner resilience for you to use. Module 6 is all about your mindset and how important our mind is over our body. We are a whole being, and the two work together. So if we're in the right mindset, it can have a knock-on effect to us physically in a good way. If we're not in the right mindset, the opposite happens. So it's about getting that right attitude, getting the right mindset in order for it to work together with us physically, in order for us to get different outcomes ultimately. This is my favorite module because actually I think this is the foundation that underpins everything, whether it's confidence, self-esteem, mental health, performance, stress, everything. It's all about the mindset, and it, you know, our mind is just so key, so important. So that's why I leave this to the end. It's the kind of icing on the cake, really. And then module 7 is making those changes last. It's about modifying your approach to permanently managing your stress. It brings it all together. There are a few more extra little tips and techniques in there as well, just to finish off and conclude with, but it's about bringing it together and for you to design your own action plan going forward. Sort of bring it all together and making that commitment to yourself that from here onwards you're going to bring in all of these things you've learnt over the weeks of trying them out in between modules, and each module adding to them. So you've really got an extensive toolkit now and minimal stress now by the end of the program, and feeling much better, much healthier. So I hope it is something you decide that you feel will be helpful. It is aimed to be helpful. It's aimed to be life-changing, and to get you in a much better place to cope with things in the future. Will have a knock-on effect to all those around you. They will see you adapting and improving and coping much better, and they too will learn from you. Or if you're buying this for somebody else, then you will benefit too. So thank you so much for giving me the time listening to this. I genuinely hope it is something you find useful. If you have any questions, feel free to drop me an email on dawn@milestone-coaching.com. or contact me via the website on www.milestone-coaching.co.uk, and there's various tabs there, or you can sign up to my blog or to my free podcast, Life Coaching on the Move podcast, a weekly update and episodes put up there, or just drop me a message. So thank you very much and good luck, and I hope that stress is minimized very, very soon, and look forward to meeting you on the other side of this stress management modules, where we will get to know each other a lot better. Thank you for your time and all the very best. Good luck.